Hello guys, it's Chummas here. Time to do another Bottleman discussion already, but this time we're going to be doing one on Colamaru Energy DX, and specifically some of its, I guess, upgrade pieces, sort of. But, yeah. So here's Colamaru Energy DX. It is a very strong power type. I mean, that's basically all it is, but I guess it has some control elements as well, like having some stability here, kind of a pseudo sight. I mean, it's a little bit of something to line up with, I guess. Have a nice big grip as well, and yeah, just some general, I guess, bulk. I don't know, it just feels like a lot like a power control hybrid, and I've said this a few times now, but that's what it feels like to me. But anyway, of course, you have these springs that of course, you know, put tension on the hold parts to increase the power of the shot along with the drive strip. This is, in my opinion, the strongest single shooting Bottleman, and just a great Bottleman. I did rank this in second place in my ranking video, which, by the way, I do go way more in depth with Colamaru Energy DX in my unboxing video, and also I did touch more on how good it is in my ranking video. And I even reiterated some stuff in my Bottle Phoenix Energy DX video, since that was just a recolor of this. But I want to talk about something a little bit more specific today. And that is kind of how its upgrades affect it. So, its upgrades actually come from the original Colamaru DX's arms. Right here. So when you take these apart, you can take out these hands, and you probably just saw that the rubber piece went flying. The hands don't actually do anything, so you could kind of just put those aside somewhere. And when you take them off, so now you have basically two wings and these two rubber pieces. These will add on to your Colamaru Energy DX. And basically, you know, what do they do here? Why are they adding on? So first up, we'll talk about the rubber pieces. These are the simplest. They just peg onto the bottom of the feet here. And it's the other one. There we go. And they're on there. And as far as the arms go, or the wings rather, they have slots right here. So you can kind of just put them on. And yeah, so there we go. And now we have this thing. So one thing to note is that you can attach other arms onto here. Funny enough, you can actually attach other Colamaru Energy DX arms onto here, which means you could just chain them like infinitely, which is funny. I'm not going to do that here. I'm not going to get into any of the other arm stuff here. I just want to talk about the base upgrades to kind of what they advertised from using parts from the original Colamaru DX. So first up, how much do these actually help? And I rank this thing second place in my ranking video. Do these things actually push it to be above second? Into first? Or, I mean, yeah, first. That's it. Or do they somehow make this thing worse? So, alright. First up here, the rubber pieces on the bottom. These don't seem like they would do a ton. And if you're on a soft surface, because I'm recording this on a bed, if you're on a soft surface, they don't do a whole lot. But when you're on a hard surface, which you should be when you're, you know, doing Bottleman stuff, at least if you're doing it properly, hard surfaces are the best. So, this actually does have some effect, and I guess it will depend on the material you're on, but generally it will still help regardless as long as it's a hard surface. What it'll do is basically, having rubber on the bottom, it simply increases friction. It's a pretty normal concept, but yeah. Having this increased friction makes it more stable. And that really plays into kind of the whole theme of this thing. I mean, again, the cross swing on the bottom here, you know, you got parts touching the ground, you can kind of hold onto it, and I guess hold it down even if you want to, although I think it just came off when I did that. But still, you have some support down here. You have a giant wing to hold on to, you have some, you know, the sight, now you have something on the bottom to really help, you know, stabilize you even further. Again, it goes into that control idea even more. Which, to me, it's not like a crazy amp or anything, but it does help. It is a good thing to use. I would still say if you had the choice between using it or not using it, I would personally use it. And while yes, you could argue that it can hinder your movement speed if you're, trying to shoot fast, move around, you can argue it hinders that. But at the same time, again, this thing has a lot of control elements to it, and I feel like you should definitely take advantage of that. And it's a really strong Bottleman. I mean, power types aren't meant to be fast. I mean, the faster you can get shots off, the better. But, I mean, again, there's a lot of control stuff here. I think that being able to have something to really get you planted is generally a benefit for something like this. So I would still say, again, between using it or not using it, I would say to use it. Now we have kind of the weirder one, which are actually going to be the wings. So the wings here, when you add them on, they basically just make a bigger grip. This addition entirely will depend on what kind of grips you like. If you don't like this kind of larger grip, it's not really going to hurt anything, but it just doesn't really do much and maybe feels a little bit more clunky, so it's like slightly worse, I guess, but it's not like so much worse that I would drop it in tears or anything. But if you're like me and you want a bigger grip because, your hands are wider than this thing anyway, these are actually kind of useful. I like to have these extra parts on the ends here to kind of rest the edges of my hands on, because it just feels like I get a stronger grip. And while yes, they don't have the same exact support as these parts, since these don't extend out as far, it's still just a nice grip to hold on to, and I like having the extra support. If you have larger hands like I do, this is a pretty decent benefit. And while it's not like, again, it's not, placement altering. I don't think anything here is actually going to make it jump up to first or drop to third. It's going to stay second place in my mind regardless, and obviously, yes, other people's placements will vary, that's fine. And, regardless of where you have this placed, really, I don't think this is going to change anything. But these are still nice additions that I think are worth mentioning. Again, having this sort of extra the wing grip, again, if you have big hands, helps, and the rubber on the bottom, I think, actually gives some decent, stability. So overall, are these good? Yeah, they're good. But do they do a ton? Not really. I just want to talk about this because I feel like a lot of people tend to gloss over this. Not everyone, but I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those things that you might hear in an unboxing or a review video or something, but then no one else ever speaks of this stuff again because it wasn't really that important of a feature. But I just wanted to go in depth with it in case anyone was curious about it. I wanted to also just do some testing of this stuff. I'm it's kind of a weird thing that they just advertised and then it just never really got brought up again. So I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll test it out. And yeah, overall, I do think, again, it's generally good. These are maybe questionable depending on your hand size, but if you have bigger hands like I do, this whole thing is just a nice upgrade without being anything that's again, placement altering. So that's basically all I have to say with this one. There we go, the second positive Bottleman discussion in a row. I wanted to do this because my past few Bottleman videos, well, aside from the one directly before this, were a little bit critical, and unfortunately my next Bottleman video is going to be very critical. It might not be what you expect, but trust me, it will be a video. I don't know when that's going to go up, but probably pretty soon here, within the next week or two. And that will be a video on Random Collection Volume 3, I'll just say that now. And I am going to go into that thing. But for now, here's a nice look at Colamaru Energy DX in a good way, because these upgrades are cool, but nothing really further than that. But anyway, that's all for this video, so thanks for watching, and bye-bye.